Breaking news, trash in our oceans, have you heard about it? Well, we are about to cook up some trouble with Chef Star receiving an educational lesson on preserving our oceans and learning just a little bit about marine and ecological life from one of his friends. I will be handing it over to Chef Star now. Thank you, Anchor John. Litter and trash are something that is common on the shores of America, with a splash of toxic chemicals and a dash of microplastics. We can end a whole ecosystem. The ocean is a fragile thing that needs to be protected when you look at pollutants in a broader sense, from the pristine shores of Hawaii to the coasts of California. You may not see the pollution as a whole. However, you can take just a few steps off the main campus of Galveston, and suddenly you are sifting through spent medical equipment and used cups as high as your calf. And nothing is being done. It's time we take a stand and clean the soup that we call our ocean. Joining us today is my co-chef and a great friend of mine, Stephen, a marine biologist who wants to get a degree in aerospace engineering. Stephen, why don't you tell the folks about litter and the issues it brings to our ecosystem? Will do, Chef Star. Howdy, folks. I'm Stephen, a marine biologist off the coast of Galveston, here to report on our friend, the ocean, and the pollutions filling it up. Like Chef Star said, the ocean is very much like a soup. From being salty to having all the fixins you need for a soup, from the protein to the veggies. However, no one likes broken glass in their soup, and no one definitely likes toxic waste in their soup. I know I don't. We have a serious issue on our hands, folks. There is currently more plastic in our ocean than fish, meaning we have about 17.4 billion, that's billion pounds of garbage built up in our oceans, along with, the ocean tankers that pass by Galveston campus. When they spill, it's only about 12% of the overall ocean actually. Only 12% of that oil actually comes from those tankers. The rest is just from the runoff of our roads. That's almost 3 times as much from oil tankers. I've actually prepared a small presentation for you over the litter that we have within Galveston, and I did a little bit of research, so I will be pulling that up here shortly for you folks. Here's a little presentation over the litter in Galveston and the issues that it causes. Within Galveston, I went to several different places. Here we see a total litter collected in a pie graph, with the carbon and silicon rich bases being most important here. I will point those out a little bit later on, along with all the different supplies and their colorations regarding them. This is all the areas that I went on campus and one off campus. GTI Boulevard, we see a high carbon and silicon rich with no metal to be found, a very clean road, pretty pristine road when it comes down to it. There's the geographical location. Texas Clipper Road, we're getting a little bit closer to the ocean here, so we're now seeing more metal-rich items along with a carbon and silicon presence there with much more carbon-rich. This is a parking lot where I found a lot of cigarette butts. Now we're getting down to actually on the ocean at Texas A&M Boat Basin, where our beautiful Trident ship is sitting. And here we see a really high silicon-rich area with next to no carbon recorded on this graph. And what I was able to find, this is because those ocean plastics were actually washing up onto the shore, and there is no carbon stuff that was there because it would have all rotted away in the ocean, but we see these plastics sit there for years and years and years. Further on General Rudder Building, we see that again, metal and silicon are the longest lasting ones, sitting on the shore of the ocean right there. Target parking lot, we see the normal things that we would normally see out of a Target parking lot, with a high metal rich content, about even on everything, because humans just dumped trash over there. And if we see on the geographical location, we can see it's right beside a body of water, which means that it can easily be pushed into the water. And why is this important to that other major Chef Star had actually alluded to with my aerospace engineering major? The litter study is very important in the establishment of different colonies on different planets, optimizing the way that litter is actually treated and reducing and reusing what we can, rather than just letting it sit inside of oceans and destroying those ecosystems that we had talked about earlier, with styrofoam harboring these harmful algae colonies. And of course, everyone's seen the turtles with the straws up their nose. And I will be leaving it here for Chef Star's closing remarks. I thank you all for joining me about this serious issue we have with our oceans. Thank you, Stephen. That really helped open my eyes to the issues surrounding our very precious oceans. And like I always say, keep your soups clean of pollutants.